it's Michelle from Rainbow Loom, and today we'll be learning how to make this Prism bracelet. This is a design that uses 3 bars of pins, and you can use either 1 or 2 looms. I would recommend using 2 if possible. Although the placement of bands is very easy, we do use some unconventional looming steps, and if you drop a rubber band, it can be tricky to fix it. So because of that, I would consider this an advanced level design. I will also be using a new kit that just came out, so keep watching if you want to see a mini unboxing. I will be using this Rainbow Loom Fab Fun kit, available at Target stores. This is a seasonal item and it's hard to capture just how big this kit is on camera, but here is an original Rainbow Loom for scale. This kit is really big. There are a lot of charms, beads, bands, and looms. Here's the back of the box if you're curious. And I have taken everything out of the box and we can now do a little overview. First, obviously instructions. It teaches you how to use both types of looms and how to place charms on. Then there are 2 of the Rainbow Loom 2.0 looms. The 2.0 looms connect together vertically and horizontally if you want to make anything 6 bars wide. Then 2 of these flower happy looms. You can make almost all 2-peg designs with them, and you can use your fingers to loom the bands. And if we have looms, then we also have to have hooks. There are 3 hooks that serve different purposes. The purple one is for looming the bands on the loom. This pink double-ended one can do the same thing, but the smaller tip here can be used to place on beads with large enough openings. And the teal-colored hook is used to help you place on the beadmoji beads. Then we have extra beadmoji beads here, lots of G-clips to close off your bracelets and place on QT charms, spacer beads that you can slide onto your bracelets after they have been made, then this really cute flower case with a lid. There are 7 colors in this organizer case. And then you get all of these extra colors in bags. I think there are 10 additional colors, so 17 in total. And lastly, what I'm most excited for are all of these beads and charms. I personally feel like these are some of the cutest charms that the Rainbow Loom design team has worked on. My favorite of this set is the cherries here, but they are all so adorable. And here are some of the beadmoji beads that you can slide onto your bracelet. I'm especially loving the bears. This is another set of cute beadmoji beads, and another set. Plus you get these gold alpha beads. And that is everything in this huge Fab Fun kit from Target. Sorry if that went on a little long, but now let's go over the exact materials that we'll be using for our Prism bracelet. You will need a hook to loom your bands, a clip to close off your bracelet, and I am using the G-clips included in this Fab Fun kit, then 1 or more looms. I am using 2 looms today, and I would recommend using 2 looms as well if you have an extra. If not, then you can just create an extension for your bracelet. In the description, I will link a video on how to create a single chain extension. If you are using 2 of the Rainbow Loom 2.0s or the Mighty Looms, then to combine them, first make sure that your looms are facing the same direction. We will connect the end of one loom to the beginning of the other, so locate the hinge that's sticking out, and then you can place the other loom on top. Press them together. From the side, you can see that it's completely flat. And lastly, we will need some bands, and I am using the colors in this flower organizer case. Speaking of rubber bands, let's go over the band count for this bracelet. For the colorful outer bands, which we will call our angled bands, I used 51. This outer part actually uses 2 bands per section. Then for the inner black part, which I'll call our inner triangle band, I used 25. In total, that is 76 rubber bands. And these are the lengths for a full-length bracelet made using 2 looms. If you are using 1 loom, then it'll be approximately half of the bands, plus your extension. Let's get started with placing down our bands. First, we want to make sure that our loom is oriented correctly, so the side that we're starting on should have an arrow with a number 1 by it, and an icon of some bands if you're using the 2.0 loom. The peg should also be making a U shape. So we're going to start placing bands from the bottom of our loom, and we will first choose the colors that we want for the angled outer bands, which are the rainbow colors here, and we will lay all of those down first. I will be using rainbow colors again. I'm placing the band down on the first peg on the left, angled up to the center. Then take another single band in the same color and place it connecting the first peg on the right, angled up to the center. We will continue to do this until we get to the end of our loom. So now I'm taking the orange bands and doing the same, but 1 row up. Start on the left and place the band stretching to the center peg. Then do the same to the right side. The bands kind of make an arrow shape. And again, just move 1 peg up and place the band on the left side first, then the right side. To make the looming part easier, I'd recommend always doing the left side first and then the right side. Let's do this one more time together. Place a band on the left, going to the center, and do the same to the right side. I will do the rest on my own, and I'll meet you again when I'm at the end of my second loom. I'm almost at the end of my second loom, and the last set of outer angled bands goes here. Now that we're done with that, we can place down our cap band. We will place it on the last middle peg using whatever color you used for the last set of angled outer bands. To do this, I'm taking a single band and placing it on the back of my hook. Then twist the band once so that there are 2 loops of the band on the hook. Then we're going to insert the back of our hook into this last peg in the middle here, and we will push the 2 loops of our cap band down onto the peg. From the side, you can see the 2 loops of our cap band sitting above the angled outer bands on the peg. Now we're going back to the beginning of our loom to place down the inner triangle bands. In this bracelet, it's the black inner bands, and I will be using white for my bracelet. So take a single one of those bands, and we will stretch the band on the first row of pegs so that it makes a triangle shape like this. Go 1 row up and stretch another single band across the second row of pegs to make a triangle shape. When this band connects to the angled bands, they will create a diamond shape, so that's how you know you did this correctly. Again, we're making the same triangle shape 1 row up. And that's all you have to do here until you get to the second to last peg of your loom. I'm going to speed this up a little bit until I get close to the end of my loom. And this is the last triangle band that we are placing down. So the last triangle band goes on the second to last row, and we will not be placing a triangle band down on the last row. We are now done placing the bands, so do a quick sanity check to make sure that you didn't skip any bands. Then we can turn our loom around 180 degrees so that we can start looming next. Now at the bottom of your loom, you should see an arrow with a number 2 by it and an icon of a hook, which indicates that we will start looming from this side. The peg should also make a lowercase n shape. Now let's get started with the looming process using our hooks. Remember that I already have my double looped cap band on the first middle peg. We will first loom these 2 angled bands here, starting with the band on the left, which is also the angled band that's on top. And here you can see more clearly that the band on the left is on top. So stick your hook into the middle peg, pull back on the 2 loops of the cap band, grab the next band down on the peg, which should be the one going to the left, and bring that back to itself on the left. Now we will do an unconventional looming step on the left side. If I turn my loom to the side, you can see that this peg we just loomed the band to has 3 loops on it. So 1 loop of our angled band, 1 loop of the triangle band, and the other side of our angled band. From outside the peg this time, we're going to grab only the bottom loop of the angled band and bring it off the peg towards the other side of the peg. Then you can drop the band. Now we will do the same thing to the right side. So return to the first middle peg, pull back on the 2 loops of our cap band, grab the remaining band on the peg, and bring it back to itself on the right side. Now we can do that flipping step again, so turn your loom to the other side. These bands are a little bit more close together, but again notice that there are 3 loops on the peg. All you're going to do is from outside the peg, grab the bottommost loop with your hook, bring it to the other side of the peg, and drop the band. If you feel like you don't have enough room on the pegs, then remember that you can use the back or front of your hook to help push down the bands. Just make sure that the bands do not overlap when you do this. The last band we will loom is the inner triangle band, which is white for me, and we will loom both of the bottom corners. We will just bring the corner of the triangle band straight forward to the peg in front. It might be a little hard to reach the triangle band, so I'd recommend turning your hook to the side in order to move the angled band out of the way. And then you can grab the corner of the triangle band, try not to drop it, and then bring it to the peg in front. Now we will do the same to the right side. So we will be looming the bottom right corner of the triangle band straight forward. I'm inserting my hook in sideways to push back on the angled band so that I can grab the white triangle band a little easier. And just bring that forward. This was our first repetition of this pattern. We will continue this pattern for each diamond section until we get to the end of our loom, except the last diamond is slightly different. I will do this a couple more times with you. So first we will loom our angled bands, and don't forget to do the flipping step. We will loom the left one first because that's the angled band on top. I'm sticking my hook into the second middle peg, pulling back on the white triangle band, grabbing the next band down on the peg, and bringing it back to itself on the left. Now when I turn my loom to the side, you can see 4 loops. We will still be grabbing the bottommost loop, which is the bottom loop of the angled band. Grab the band from outside the peg, and we will bring that loop to the other side of the peg. Then let go of the band. Let's do the same to the right side. So stick your hook into the middle peg, pull back on the triangle band, grab the remaining band on the peg, and bring it back to itself on the right. Turn your loom to the side, and again there are 4 loops on the peg. From outside the peg, grab the bottommost loop, which should be the angled band, and bring it to the other side of the peg, and then drop it. Now we will loom the 2 corners of our triangle band. It might be hard to find at first, but if I pull these other bands back, you can see a horizontal band on the peg. That's the corner of our triangle that we will loom forward. If you look from the side, it's also the bottommost band, assuming that your bands are not overlapping each other. So, pull back on the 2 upper bands on the peg, grab the bottommost triangle band, and bring that forward. Then we will do the same to the right side, so we will loom the bottommost band, which is our triangle band, forward. Use your hook to pull back on the 2 upper bands on the peg, grab the bottommost one, and bring that forward. And congrats, that was another repetition of the looming pattern. Let's do this again. We will move to the 3rd middle peg on the loom and loom the angled bands first. Push back on the triangle band, grab the next angled band down on the peg, and loom it back to itself on the left. Don't forget our flipping step, so turn your loom to the side, and from outside the peg, grab the bottommost loop, which is one side of our angled band, and bring that to the other side of the peg. Let's do the same to the other side now. Loom the remaining angled band on the middle peg over to the right. Then turn your loom to do the flipping step. So grab the bottommost loop on the peg, bring it towards the other side of the peg, and let go. Now we will loom the triangle band starting with the left side. Pull back on the top 2 bands on the peg. Grab the corner of the triangle band, which remember should make a horizontal line across the peg, and bring that forward. When we loom the angled band, you can see that all of these bands here get pulled forward, so that's how you know you loomed the correct band. Then we will do the same to the right side of the triangle band. Use your hook to pull back on all the other bands, grab the bottommost triangle band, and bring that forward. And congrats, that was our 3rd repetition. I'll do this with you one more time, and if you still want to loom together, there will be timestamps in the description. Starting from the bottom middle peg of the 4th diamond, pull back on the triangle band, grab the next band down on the peg, and bring that back to itself on the left. Turn your loom to the side so that we can flip the bottom loop on the peg to the other side of the peg. Do the same to the right side, so loom the remaining angled band to the right. Then turn your loom to the side and flip the bottom loop on the peg. The bands are slightly overlapping each other here, but just remember that you're flipping the bottom loop of the angled band. Now we will loom the bottom corners of the triangle band. Remember that we're looming the bottom band on the peg. So pull back on the top two bands to reach the bottom triangle band and loom that forward. Then do the same to the right side, so pull back on the top two bands, grab the bottom one, and bring that forward. So just continue doing this until you're close to the end. I'm going to do the other diamonds on my own, but I'll meet you when I'm close to the end of my loom because the last diamond is slightly different from the rest. Okay, and this is the last diamond. We will first loom the angled band and do the flipping step on both sides. Because there are no more pegs in front of us to loom the triangle band to, we will instead loom the left and right corners to the middle peg. You can either place a clip on all three loops here, or you can pull a band through and then place on a clip. So I'm sticking my hook into the peg and moving it to the side, using a band in my triangle color and placing that onto the hook and pulling it up so that it links to all three loops on the peg. Then put the other loop that you're holding onto your hook. Now we can end our creation with a clip, and I'm securing the loose end here with a G-clip, making sure that it's holding onto both loops of the last band. Then we can remove our hook and take our creation off the loom. I recommend using your hook to gently remove the bands from the loom. After taking your bracelet off the loom, you might have to gently stretch and readjust the bands so that it's less wiggly. And this is the finished bracelet. To close things off, attach the other end of the clip to the cap band. And now we're done. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial on how to make this prism bracelet that I created. Some of you might be able to tell, but I suddenly got sick while recording the voiceover for this video, so I apologize for my voice. Anyways, if you make this, please tag us at official_rainbowloom and use the hashtag rainbowloom so that we can see your creations on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We also host weekly giveaways on our Instagram called our Loom Star of the Week contest, where you can win some fun prizes, so be sure to follow us there. In the description box below, you can find where to purchase your own Rainbow Loom products. We have so many kits available, and there's honestly something for everyone. We are also selling some Rainbow Loom products on our TikTok shop, so if you're in the US, check out our store, which has some exclusive bundles and deals that you can't find anywhere else. And again, thanks for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Try not to get sick.